This week in 1954, Jet magazine featured this weirdo in its Mr. and Mrs. section. It is not about a celebrity or politician or anyone of significant historical importance. Just a plain old everyday civilian like you and me who got himself involved in some hot mess. Well, maybe he wasn't exactly like us. I'll read the story and add my commentary, and you can decide if he was like you. Let's get into it. But first, if you like these videos about the most scandalous people from yesteryear who make the hot mess history with Ty Said What Ty Said channel a time capsule for the culture, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know every time that I upload one of these videos or every time that I live stream. And comment, I subscribed, in the comment section so that I can say hello to you. Now, on to why you are here. Today's story comes from this issue of Jet magazine dated May 27th, 1954. The article is titled, LA Woman Sues Blind Abortionist for $35,000, and it reads, a Los Angeles woman, Mrs. Carrie Mae Chappell, testified at a hearing of her $35,000 damage suit against blind masseur Bob Miller that he gave her weeks of tortuous treatment to keep her from becoming a mother. Mrs. Chappell said that after becoming pregnant last year, she went to Miller, who represented himself as a physician. She testified Miller's treatments consisted of regular and vigorous massage of the breasts and manipulation and insertion of blunt instruments in vaginal regions. Mrs. Chappell said she paid $133 for the treatments. Miller denied the charges. End quote. Sheesh! Where does one even begin? You probably noticed that the word abortionist is in quotation marks, as it should be. I didn't see any follow-up on this story from sources outside of Jet magazine, so let me apologize in advance for my commentary because it's only going to be filled with the questions that I have and the things that I wonder about the transaction between the two of them. I wondered if Carrie Mae Chappell carried a child through a full-term pregnancy and gave birth, and if she did the child suffer complications because of the treatments that she got from this blind man? Now, the serious questions aside, I wonder if she knew that Bob Miller was blind when she started seeing him for his services. I also wonder if he was just partially blind, because in this photo, he seems to be looking at his attorney in disbelief. Maybe it was because he was just told the amount for which he was being sued, $35,000, which was a lot of money back then. That has a buying power of $376,000 today in 2022. Somehow, I just doubt that Bob Miller had that kind of money lying around. The story also calls him a masseur, so I'm wondering if he just performed, or didn't perform, abortions as a side hustle. Because whether partially or fully blind, it seems like pregnancy terminations would have been a risky business for Dr. Bob. Did Carrie hear about Dr. Bob from a friend, or did his storefront location display everything that he did? And how about those treatments she was getting? The word treatments was also put in quotation marks in this story. I hate to say it, but it certainly sounds like she paid all that money just to get felt up. $133 for those so-called treatments in 1954. Ladies, that would be like paying $1,400 today to have some weirdo fill on your boobs and stick things up your you-know-what. Well, after checking in a lot of different places for some extra info on this story, I could only find one more short paragraph about it, and it was right in Jet magazine the very following week. This June 3rd, 1954 issue of Jet magazine gives us the conclusion of this story in its Mr. and Mrs. section in a story called Blind California Masseur Freed of Abortion Charges, and it reads, a Los Angeles judge ruled that Bob Miller, blind masseur, did not treat Mrs. Carrie Mae Chappell to prevent her from becoming a mother, as she had testified in court after filing a $35,000 damage suit against him. Mrs. Chappell claimed she paid Miller $133 for the treatments after he represented himself as a physician who could prevent birth of the baby. Well, there you have it. So according to the law, nothing happened to this woman. What do you think? Do you think that she made it all up? That would be really strange. Or do you think that we just need to give it up for attorney David Raven, who is clearly the MVP of this story? After all, Dr. Bob went free, and that means that he got to rub on all the boobs he wanted to from that day forth, and he couldn't be charged again because that would have been double jeopardy. Isn't that how that works? Of course it is. I'm really smart, and I went and got a law degree from the same place where Dr. Bob got his MD.
ICDC college. Say ICDC. I'm so ICDC. College. Yeah.
Do you know who else was a fake doctor? Bill Cosby. Well, on TV he was. And Felicia Rashad was a fake lawyer as his wife on The Cosby Show. Anyway, her family was featured in Jet Magazine's Mr. and Mrs. Section 2. Yes, of course, that would be Debbie Allen's family also. Anyway, the story was quite the 1950s scandal. I published a video about that story that you can see here. I will also leave a link to it in the description box. If you want text notifications so that you can get a text 15 minutes before I release a video or 15 minutes before I live stream, simply send a text to 786-632-2135 to let me know that you want text, and you will get an outgoing text message 15 minutes before I have a new video release. If you have a business, product, service, YouTube channel, or social media account that you would like to promote on my channel, email me at tiwan@tisaidwhattisaid.com to get rates for advertising on my community tab, my live streams, and or my edited videos, just like this one. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ty Said What Ty Said channel. Please leave a thumbs up and comment so that we can get a discussion going. And share this video on all of your social media, especially your Facebook. That really helps me out a lot. And subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when my next video is ready for you. And if you don't like what I'm saying but you love it, feel free to hit that applaud button just below your video screen there and send me some
donations.
Yeah, baby. See you on the next video.